We can no longer pretend that this isn't happening. We are slowly losing Him. Lord, give us the cure. She is still my home. Barbados is still my home. She is still my home.
Matthew Farley spent more than 40 years in the teaching profession, shaping the minds of many Barbadian youths. His career was the fulfillment of a childhood dream that was born on his first day of school.
My mother tells me that after attending school the first day at age 5, when I came home and she lifted me up and said, "How was your day?" And I said my day was fine, and I said to her, "I want to be headmaster like Mr. Reefer," who was the headmaster at the time. I was 5 years old, she said, so if she said so, that must have been true. So ever since then, my life avenues have led me, and I became a teacher.
At any point, did you ever want to be something else?
Absolutely not. Finished school in 1973, July, and of course there were opportunities to enter teaching, and I went into the classroom in September 1973, the 10th to be exact, having gone through the pre-registered program at the time. But it wasn't pre-registered, it would have been induction course, 6 weeks induction course, which will give you initiation into the profession. And now, 44 years since, or hence, I'm looking back on a career that I really enjoyed.
It was a rewarding career that the retired principal looks back on with pride.
I spent 1996 to 2003, 7 years at the St. Mary's Primary School. And that was a high point in the sense that St. Mary's was in a city school, or is in a city school, with its own challenges. But the high point of that was that St. Mary's was a pilot project for educator, which was funded by the IADB, some $396 million, and the school was chosen to be the pilot project, and I was the principal. So that was the precursor to edutech. That was pretty much a pilot project that was supposed to inform and also help the government secure the funding. So that was a high point. So my school was the leader. We had a state-of-the-art computer lab, we had technology in the classroom, technology became part of management. It was really a high point in my career.
And as all his students were quick to discover, he was also a firm believer in discipline.
Students admire teachers and leaders who are firm, who are guided by clear principles. We might come over a bit strict, but it is that type of teacher, it's that type of profile that students love most and remember longest. The teacher who is very liberal and allows anything to happen in the classroom is not the one that will get the recognition and the attention of students. So I had an excellent relationship with my kids, both at the primary level, especially at the Garrison and Grade C. We had a wonderful relationship. They knew what I stood for, and they complied, and when they didn't comply, they knew what happened. My relationship also extended to the basketball court, the netball court, wherever they were playing, I was there. Any finals in basketball or netball, I was there. They said, "But sir, when you come, we play better." So I was there, and I was the chief cheerleader at every final. And that was the way to say, "I'm with you."
Farley says teachers have a tremendous responsibility to themselves and their students.
I've always had a passion for the teaching profession. I believe it's one of the most, if not the most important profession there is in the world, in that we teach everybody else. Everybody else. I mean, you may live for your whole lifetime and never go to a doctor. You might live for your whole lifetime and never see a lawyer. You will have to encounter the undertaker at the end. But you can't get away from having been impacted by a teacher at some point in time in your life. And I was drawn attention to the need for them to recognize the tremendous responsibility that rests on their shoulders as teachers, particularly in this age when there's so many issues, when there's so many challenges facing young people. Sometimes the school is the only the place where there's the last vestige of hope. Sometimes children come to school early not because they want to be punctual, but because home is not a safe place. Sometimes they're the last to leave the school compound, not because they like school, but because home is not a safe place. So school is that last vestige of hope for a lot of children. I think I try to convey that impression to them, and that we need to uphold very high standards, and that as teachers we cannot be like everybody else if we want to lead students and children into a better way of life.
Farley is also a family man, a newspaper columnist, and a radio announcer.